Welcome back everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can clip through just about any wall or floor on version 1.2.0. The glitch we're going to be using for this is called hydro clipping and was originally discovered by Simonfirefighter with additional implementations found by Maxmasher. We're also going to be using a couple extra glitches to set this up, so I'll have those and the respective credits along with links to everybody down in the description. To do this, we're going to need a hydrant. If you don't already have one, you can get one right here at this dispenser in the West Necluda Sky Archipelagio. We're going to need any one miscellaneous melee weapon that can be fused with. It doesn't matter what type of melee weapon this is, we just need a melee weapon that we can fuse our hydrant to. And then you're going to need a one-handed weapon that can't be thrown. So if you have the Master Sword or an MSG, those will work for this. If you don't, there are materials that you can fuse to a regular one-handed weapon that will produce the same effect that we're looking for. And those are beam emitters, cannons, fans, sleds, carts, korok fronds, wooden boards, or any gemstone excluding diamonds. So if you want, you can go ahead and fuse that right now if you need to, or if you don't want to sacrifice the material to do that, then you can wait and I'll show you how you can avoid losing the material. So once we have all of that, we're going to take out our hydrant, and we're going to fuse it to our one miscellaneous melee weapon. And then from here, we just want to go and make a save. And then once that's done, if you wanted to save your material and not lose it, then now is when you would fuse that to your one-handed weapon, like this. And just as a visual demonstration, this is what I mean when I say a weapon that can't be thrown. I mean any weapon that has a special effect when holding down and releasing R. So anything like this will work for what we need. So once that's done, we're going to perform what's called Throwless storage, which is an offshoot of beam storage, both of which were discovered by evilgabe. So to do that, we're going to hold down R, and without releasing R, we're going to hold down L to bring up our rune wheel. Once the wheel is up, you want to release R. Very important. I'm going to stress this right now before I get a million comments telling me that this didn't work for them to find out that they held R through the whole process. If you do not release R, then this is not going to work. So once you have let go of R, we're going to select the map and we're going to let go of L. The reason we let go of R is because when you open the map that way, the game advances by 1 frame. So if you're still holding R, the game's not progressing 1 frame toward you throwing that weapon or trying to throw that weapon. So after we've opened the map, we're going to go down and we're going to load up 1 memory. As always, you do not need to watch it. You can press X and then plus to skip through it. We just need to load it up. Once that's done, press plus to go back into the menu. And now we're going to go load up that save that we just made. When we load in, if you did this right, you'll see the hydrant on your back is going to be active and your battery is going to start draining. Don't worry about running out of charge and the device turning off. That's not a concern. If it turns off, all you need to do is switch to another weapon, let your battery recharge, and then switch back, and the effect will still work. This is one of the most persistent glitches in the game, so you generally do not have to worry about accidentally messing this up and canceling it. The only way that you're going to cancel this glitch definitively is if you were to hold down R with any melee weapon to throw it. You can interrupt that process and take out an item and just throw a regular item and it won't end it, but you cannot fully hold down R and complete the process of reeling back that weapon like you're preparing to throw it. If you do that, it will completely cancel the effect. Dropping a weapon with an activated Zonai device on it will also stop the effect, but only if you pick that weapon back up. If you drop this weapon, and then, you know what? If I drop this weapon, wrong button, and then I load up the save that we just made again, you'll see that I still have the effect when I load back in. So if you drop the weapon with the active Zonai device on it, it'll only cancel out that effect if you were to pick it back up. So if you accidentally drop this, just load up your save and you'll be fine, you'll get the effect back. So once we're like this, we're essentially ready to start clipping. And I'm just going to go somewhere else for that. I'm going to go drop down through Hyrule Field. And this is mainly because I want to show you that this will also persist through loading screens, meaning that you're not restricted to where you do this. And as soon as I load in, you're going to see that the hydrant is still Actually, you're going to see that the hydrant is not active on my back, but don't worry about that. Because just like when your battery runs out, all you need to do is switch off and switch back, and you'll see that we do still have the effect. It just needed to be reloaded with the weapon. Same thing if I were to go into this shrine, the same thing. All I would need to do is swap back off and then swap back on, and this would be persistent while I'm in the shrine. So to actually clip through the ground or walls, there are 2 ways to do this, and I'm going to show you how to clip through the ground first. So for this, you're going to need a steering stick. We just go ahead and drop that, and I'm going to walk up so that way I have the prompt. And what you want to do is pull out your recall rune, and then we're going to wait about 15 to 20 seconds. Realistically, I like to wait until about a battery and a half is gone, and then we're going to press B, and we're going to mash A. You're going to see that the game's really struggling, and as soon as we get on, we're just going to plummet right through the floor. And then, depending on where you're going through, you might hit a loading plane. And as you can see, well, it might actually be a little hard to see, but now as you can see, we're standing on top of the depth ceiling. I'm just going to turn this off to get rid of the water. And it's, honestly, it's that easy. So then if I wanted to again, I can just pull out another steering stick, take my hydrant out, and then just pull up fuse. And the reason this works is, as you can see, while the game is frozen, our battery is still draining because this hydrant is still pumping out water. So when we let go of it, all that water loads in, and the game has trouble processing it, which is what lets us fall straight through the ground. If you're familiar with Zuggle overloading and clipping that way, it's essentially the same process, except we're using all of this water to overload the game as opposed to 16 or 20 weapons equipped to the same slot. And now, to clip through walls, it's going to be very similar. All we need is a shield, and I'm just going to eat one of these real quick. So, for a wall, same thing. We're just going to pull up recall, and then we're going to let it sit for about 15-20 seconds-ish. You might need to let it sit longer for walls because walls tend to be sometimes thicker, so they might be a little harder to get through. And then we're going to hold ZL, and we're going to mash jump. And it might take you a couple of tries. You might have to adjust your distance. It can be a little tricky. But once you let go of recall, you want to hold ZL to pull out your shield, mash X, and then as soon as you see Link starting the animation for the jump, you want to start mashing A to go into a shield jump. Like that. And this probably isn't going to be the best example, or the best wall to try this on, so I'm going to go ahead and move somewhere else just to give you a more working example. Alright, to give a better example of clipping through walls, I'm going to try and clip through this little map right here in the emergency shelter. And there we go. Oh, maybe not. Try that again. There we go. As you can see, just as easy. I hop through pretty much any wall. Like I said, as long as it's not too thick. But that's pretty much going to cover everything in this one. As always, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the newest information or discoveries. And if you liked the video or if it helped you out, leave it a like and let me know down in the comments. And I'll see you next time.